funny enough, the Shah became the regional bully, the regional right-wing monarch dictator who started to bully Yemen. So Yemen has been in the news, or should have been in the news, but in the crosshairs of our empire and our proxies for 50, 60 years. So this is a whole regional mindfuck that's been going on all of these years. And so please go out into the streets just like we are, and educate people, and please let them never say 1979 is where it began. 1953. Start pushing back the Cold War, the U.S. Cold War against the world. Thank you very much.
Got money for a war, can't feed the poor. We'll try that again. Got money for a war, can't feed the poor. We're fired up, we're not taking no more. Got money for a war, can't feed the poor. We're fired up, we're not taking no more. Thank you so much for that history lesson from Coach Pink. We have another speaker from the Peace and Freedom Party of California who will tell us how, not only in the streets, not only in our movements, we can take our movement to the ballot box and get people in office who are actually going to take our politics and our ideas and implement them. Please welcome up Sylvia.
Hello, my name is Sylvia, and I am a volunteer with the Peace and Freedom Party and the Vote Socialist Campaign. Just for those of you who don't know, the Peace and Freedom Party was founded in the 1960s as an anti-war, pro-civil rights party, and it fights for socialism. And as we all know, this U.S.-Israeli war on Iran is illegal. The cowardly politicians in Congress have not successfully passed the War Powers Act resolution, which would have had Trump and his cronies answer for their invasion of a sovereign nation. Instead, we have a government that will not listen to its people that it serves. Politicians gorge themselves on the money pouring in from AIPAC and the industrial war machine. This while the working class people struggle to feed themselves, put a roof over their head, and to stay healthy. We are a people whose labor is extracted by the billionaire class to fund these wars that kill children and innocents abroad. It is our labor that funds their bloodlust. It is our labor that we can withhold. That is our power. We the people have the power to supply, to end their extraction from us. We have that power with the general strike. We have seen the collective power take shape and take momentum in Minneapolis, and we must continue that, ride that wave, and grow the public awareness that the collective power we have to withhold our labor with the general strike. Some of you might note that this weekend commemorates International Women's Day. This party, the Peace and Freedom Party, is built on a platform supporting feminism, which is the struggle for women to achieve equal rights, the struggle of women against oppression. This war in Iran is a war against women, even though the mainstream media would have you believe otherwise. This war, and all wars, the genocide in Gaza, the conflicts in Sudan and Congo, are incredibly brutal on women and children who suffer sexual violence at the hands of the imperialist colonizers. And yet it is our government that tells us to our face that we are invading to free their women. Tell me, how can a government that cannot keep its own women safe from the murderous hands of DHS, from the murderous hands of the police, how can it claim to keep the women safe in a foreign country that the majority of them cannot even find on a map? How? The Peace and Freedom Party wants to take the $1 trillion+ used to fund this war to meet the needs of the people of this country. Healthcare, childcare, housing, food. We deserve the right to have clean environment, clean drinking water. We as a people have the abundance to provide for our own citizens. The government that we have now extracts our labor and our money and uses it to fund their own bloody agendas. Shame. Speaking of children, whose children is going to be going over there to fight these wars? Ours. Not the children of politicians, not the children of the industrial war machine, not the children of the lobbyists. We must stop giving our children over to the industrial war complex. We must rise up and shout no. No more money for wars and deportations, money for homes and education. And with the PFP, we can achieve that. The candidates that we have running in the Vote Socialist campaign, they want to support our needs for universal health care, for free childcare, for low-cost housing, for access to clean water and food. These candidates are working class people like ourselves. They experience the struggles that we experience. We can change this system by saying no to the status quo, by choosing to vote outside of this duality of a supposed two-party system. That is why I encourage you today to join the PFP, to join the Vote Socialist campaign, so that we can make a change within our communities and take care of the needs of our own people. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Oh, no, you're good.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran. Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
And if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it.
Shut it down.
That's right, that's right. So sorry. Our next speakers will be two veterans of previous wars of America who have come out to speak out today against this illegal war. We have Rick and then we have Jeff. Please give it up for them from Veterans for Peace.
As usual, as veterans, we're always late. So, I'm Jeff. I served 20 years in the military, and I really appreciate you all coming out today. And I have this really long speech I have, so I hope you take a seat and hang with us. Actually, it's like 2 minutes. President Trump's war on Iran, this shows his mindset. He doesn't care about anyone other than himself. He feels he can do anything he wants in the U.S. or abroad. This war is already made a large tragedy in the world. Already 6 of our brothers and sisters have died in this war. They weren't even fighting the war. They were in Kuwait doing another job. But that doesn't matter. And once again, Trump will not even go when they come back to the U.S. to watch them unload them from the airplanes. This is a real shame, and he shows that he totally misuses the military. This is an illegal war. Technically, every single member of the military today is breaking international law. And this is costing us $1 billion a day. But that doesn't really matter from my perspective, because look at all the people that's dying every day. It's not 6 Americans and a number of wounded, but all the thousands of people that's been dying in Iran. And it looks like we even bombed a school. I did not sign up to bomb schools. I did not sign up to invade a country that was not even a danger to the U.S. And the current military did not sign up for this. They did not ask for this. They're out there doing it because they've been told to do it. And they're not being really supported by the administration or their commanders because they're allowing this to happen. Congress is allowing this to happen. They voted this week to do nothing. Both the House and the Senate. What we need to do is call our representatives every single day and ask them, what have you done today to stop this war? What have you done today to stop funding this war? That's what I would like for all of us to do. And everybody says, we support the military, we support our veterans. If you want to support me, if you want to support Rick, I bet he'll say the same thing. Call, make a noise, ensure that our representatives understand where we stand every single day. And if they don't speak out every single day about what's happening, we need to tell them, you need to speak out every single day. Thank you very much. Now, Rick.
Thank you, Jeff. My name's Rick. I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years, and back in the late 70s, right after Vietnam. And I was all gung-ho for war. I just thought if another country doesn't bow down to us, we should nuke them. And my older brother was much more progressive and liberal thinking. He was like, what makes us better than them? Why do we get to tell other countries what to do? And I started thinking, and we started having more conversations, and then I flipped, and I became anti-war, and I am to this day. And this is an illegal war waged for the Zionists, who have just, no, they're not just even done with their genocide. They have continued this genocide, and now they're spreading it into southern Lebanon. So it's an illegal war. It does not have UN approval. It doesn't have congressional approval. So it's an illegal war of aggression, which is what the Nazis were convicted of after World War II. So we have morphed into the new Nazis. And I want to thank all of you for being out here protesting, being out here in support of our fellow workers in Iran and all the people that are for peace. This is an unjustified war of aggression, and we just commit one crime after another. We're murdering people on boats without any evidence they did anything wrong, kidnapping foreign leaders and accusing them of crimes with no evidence, and then going as far as stealing their oil, selling it, and then Trump is parking the profits in a private account overseas, somewhere in the Middle East. Maybe it's Qatar or... So this is just blatant criminality in our faces, and we should all, just get more people involved, because when I got off the bus and I looked for the crowd, I didn't really see much of a crowd. There should be 1 million people here. And so yeah, let's get our friends, our family, everyone involved, because we're the new Nazis now. That's what's going on. And we need to stop this. And I agree with Jeff, we need to call our representatives, whatever they're worth, and put some pressure on them and end this thing, because Trump is promising to keep it going and is demanding unconditional surrender, which is insane. They're not going to do it, and so the conditions have been set just to continue this war on, and like another Vietnam, another forever war, which is what he ran against. Over and over he would make fun of Obama because Obama's going to start a war with Iran because he's low in the polls. Well, lo and behold, he morphed into Obama. Well, actually, Obama never did it. Yeah, he never did it. So he morphed into, I guess, Hitler. So thank you for letting me speak. Keep up the good work. And, thank you.
Thank you to Jeff and Rick. It's important for veterans, people who have served in the military, to speak out against these current actions. It's important for all of us to speak out, like they said. I think it's good to call our representatives. That's one thing we should all do. I think we also have to be clear about the fact that our representatives let this happen, right? That we've been under the rule of Republicans and Democrats for centuries, right? And this is where we are. Brown people, people of color, women, oppressed people all over the country will tell you that this is not new, right? This is what the country has been, and it's becoming more and more clear. And so that's why I think we're bringing people who are also saying, let's vote for different parties, right? Let's break from the Democrats. If this isn't working for us, let's try another way, right? And not just in the election box, not just at the ballot box, we also need to be in the streets. We also need to be exercising our right to strike, right? We need to be building our unions. We need to be talking to our neighbors. We need to be asking ourselves, is this system working for us? Is the system working for you? No. If the system's not working for you, then why are we still with the same system, right? Why aren't we building something new, something different? In the PSL and the PFP, we think we need to build something different, right? And that's why we're here. It's not just to be about anti-war, not just this war, all wars, right? Money for jobs and education is not just this war. Missiles have always cost $50 billion to shoot off, right? Not just today, yesterday, and tomorrow, they always cost that much. If we can't have education, if we can't have healthcare, if we can't have housing, what are we doing spending $1 trillion on our military, no matter what we use it for, right? It doesn't matter if the war is good or just. We shouldn't be spending money on war before these things are fixed. And so I have more people to come up to speak today. I have Pat, and I have Norma from Military Family Speak Out. We want to welcome them up today.
In the shade. Okay, this is Norma. First time speaking out. I'm really glad to have her here. I'd like to tell you something first. She's with Military Families Speak Out, and we're really glad that she can join us today. Thank you all for having us here and listening to our voices. I know we're all around each other, and so I really appreciate when you give us an opportunity to show what we have to say and listen to us, because we are a special group, and it's very difficult for military families and veterans to speak out in this way. So thank you for that respect. I really appreciate it.
So today, just a reminder about why young people join up. You know the list. See the world, learn a skill, pay for schooling, get a house, and now they're adding get a citizenship. Recruiters are in high schools. They're now promising $30,000 just to enlist, enticing students with difficult lives and no money to make a start in life. No one remembers that the government breaks promises all the time, especially to people of color, from broken treaties to the indigenous, to now by not keeping their promises of citizenship after their military service. A lot of them are being deported after all their sacrifices. No one talks about surviving the wars. I mean, surviving? How about the caskets coming back? The awful lifelong wounds due to physical injuries, invisible wounds, and PTSD from moral injuries due to military actions, and to just the horror they see from all the bombing and rifles and everything. And no one talks about their death-dealing diseases that could erupt after years of service, from scattered ordnances to depleted uranium to using experimental weapons on people. My sister Grace was lucky. She got to enjoy the perks of her service. But we also just buried her at Fort Sam Houston last summer. She was only 59 years old. We think maybe her accident in the military with hazmat suits overseas added to her early death. And now my other sister is worried about her grandson, all hyped up about joining the military after his high school graduation. We need to keep protesting on the streets to stop this megalomaniac from war in Iran and possibly starting World War III. Thank you. Woo!
Thank you all for being here very much. It really does give us heart and spirit. My name is Pat Alviso. I'm with Military Families Speak Out. We're a national organization made up of military families that have loved ones in the military since 9/11. My son just retired in June, after 30 years in the Marine Corps. And let me tell you, the wars in Iraq, he's just trying to decompress now, is triggering a lot of our military. As a mother who's had to suffer through that last war, it's triggering all of us too. We don't want our loved ones being used as cannon fodder to justify the continued bombing in Iran. And we're especially horrified about the 175 children and other innocent civilians that the U.S. apparently bombed, shattering the lives of so many forever. I say this because you all know that, but people don't realize military families feel the same way, but many of us are muzzled. We're afraid, many of them, not me anymore, never was, that our families won't talk to us again, and that we'll be accused of being traitors to our own families. And it's happened. It's a real problem trying to get military families to speak out. You're so brave. Okay. Soon we will be witnessing the 6 flag-draped coffins being unloaded from Dover Airport. And this is an awful thing to say, but is this what it's going to take for the Americans to wake up and realize they're at war and they're causing it? I hope not. I hope some of us are getting there now. At this moment, as a military family member, I'm appalled and disgusted to hear that Trump's only reaction upon learning after the death of these 6 U.S. casualties, you know what he said? That's the way it is. If that's what he says publicly to the whole world about how Americans are, and that's what he's supposed to be, right? You know how he feels about Iranians, right? To me, he's just a callous animal. And it's a horrible situation to have to say that. As a military mom, I can share with you that we don't want our sons to be killed naturally, of course. But we don't want our sons and daughters and sisters and brothers in the military to kill either. And I say that with confidence because we don't want our loved ones being responsible, and we deal with all this stuff when they come home, not for an unconstitutional, immoral, illegal invasion of a sovereign state. That's, like Jeff was saying, that's not what they signed up to do. It is shameful. And this is why military families speak out. Veterans for Peace and About Face, an organization made up of post-9/11 veterans, are heavily involved in a campaign I hope you will take a moment to learn about. And it's called Veterans Say No To, and it's war in Iran. Our campaign is designed, and maybe you've seen the billboards, the radio programs that we've done, the advertisements we've done, to get the word out to our military saying you do not have to follow illegal orders. That's what this is about. Please help us on that if you can. And hear me on this. We recognize military families and veterans have a special role in trying to stop these wars. We accept that. are with you. Be part of us too. And let's spread the word. Stop this war, this horrific war, and let's help build this movement together. End the war in Iran and all unjust wars. Thank you. Jay and Raj.
Yes, thank you for speaking. What do we want? What do we want? And when do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? And if we don't get it, if we don't get it, if we don't get it, I said if we don't get it, next I want to welcome up someone who is not originally on our program. I want to welcome up Ali today to speak. We want to make sure that we hear from Iranian voices as well, to speak on what's going on in the country.
Good afternoon. I wanted to thank every American that right now you put your time and spend your Saturday afternoon here. I just wanted to request something. Please look at the history. In 1933, Nazi Party came with 33% of the things, and German people who had philosophers like Hegel, like Marx, like many of them, he took Germany there. In America, at one time Nixon, a Republican, would have not dared to do what today Republican Party has done. Really, we are living in a world that brainwashing is at a very high level. Today we have Facebook, Instagram, all of these things. As Chomsky said, manufacturing consent. We are really in fighting, and it's not just about going to meetings and things like that. Human to human, you need to talk to your, you need to talk to your friends and say, what is going on with this. Iranians, we are having our own internal issues, as you really know. About a month ago, there was a whole bunch of Iranians got killed. But this doesn't give right to America, Russia, China, anybody to come and tell us how we live our lives. Very recently in Gaza, for a year and a half, this is what they did. Right now they are planning the same thing in Lebanon. Just last night, I think about 300 to 500 Lebanese has died. In Iran, almost around 2,000, as far as I know. So, thank you again. But what I want to say, it's not about coming to these meetings and looking and, to our friends and things like that. It's really, we need to roll up our sleeves and talk to people. They have brainwashed many people. They are dividing us men against women. They tell the women, women are getting everything. Black against white, brown against this. They are dividing us. Let's just remember that all of us are human. 97% of our, genomes are all the same, even with animals. Let's just stay on common things. We need to think, regardless of our political things and differences, we need to stand for justice, for equality, and a better world for our future. I saw one gentleman brought, his son here. The future belongs to them. Most of our lives, I am in my midlife kind of stages, doesn't matter anymore. This is about the future. Let's just, 4 years from now, when our children look at this world, we give them a better world. Thank you for your time again, and thank you for your party and whoever that organized this thing, and giving me a chance to talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. That was well said. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
Hands off the Middle East!
Hands off the Middle East!
No justice, no peace!
No justice, no peace!
Hands off the Middle East!
Hands off the Middle East!
No justice, no peace!
No justice, no peace!
Hands off the Middle East!
Hands off the Middle East!
Thank you all. Today I have two more speakers for you guys. The next one is a student from Cal State Long Beach. They're part of this Cal State Long Beach Divest Coalition, trying to get their school to divest from genocide, from war, from weapons manufacturers, and the work that they do is very important. Please welcome up the speaker.
Hello everyone. I am a student at California State University of Long Beach. I am here today as a student, and I'm here today with the students. Under our movement, CSU will be divest. History teaches us that the CSU system has always been involved with war and militarization. After World War II, when the GI Bill allowed veterans coming home access to higher education, state universities expanded and were sprung up. During the Cold War, when we entered the arms race against the Soviet Union, state universities received funding to compete, technologically, to compete with STEM training. And today this manifests as deep ties with weapons manufacturing corporations. Shame! Shame! We are here today because we reject that legacy. We reject the legacy that involves our education with murder, with genocide, and with profit from the people who own these corporations. We want to create a new legacy. A legacy where our education makes the world a better place, where it protects the environment, where it innovates for our better lives. Right? We reject the notion that in order to advance our socioeconomic condition, in order to survive and to ensure the survival of our family members and our parents, we must step on the bodies of Iranian children. We do not accept that. The CSU executives, the Board of Trustees and administration, they claim that we cannot divest from genocide, from Israel, and from weapons without jeopardizing the pensions of the workers and the stability of the university. This is a lie. It's a lie. CSU Board of Trustees and executives earn $300,000 to $500,000 a year just as salary, not including benefits, transportation stipends, housing stipends, and bonuses. What they do is protect their own profits and their careers. They don't care about our education, and they don't care about the university, and they don't care about the workers. They view war in Iran and genocide in Palestine as a good investment. This is disgusting, it is unjust, and it is untrue. We will absorb the costs of the environmental degradation that comes from war. We will absorb the spiritual, social, and moral costs of knowing that our career rests on the murder of children, of mothers, of healthcare workers, and of working people all around the world. So we are here today to say that to the people in Sudan, the students are with you. To the people in Mexico, the students are with you. To the people in Palestine, the students are with you. And to the people in Iran and Lebanon, the students are with you, and we are committed to divestment. We will not stop until the university, the Cal State University system, and California State University of Long Beach discloses all investments and divests from Israel and all human rights abusers, weapons manufacturers, and fossil fuel giants. We will win if we join labor unions, if we join families and religious institutions from all sectors of society, we will push against this war in the only language that the Department of War and the Israeli Defense Forces speak, which is power and money. We will leverage our collective power to enact these changes because we know that we cannot appeal to a moral or ethic that does not exist. And it doesn't matter how many photos you show of the devastation, and it doesn't matter how many appeals you make towards humanity for these people. They don't care. They only care about money. So we will divest. And they only care about power. So we will build collective power. We will continue to organize. And we urge you at all of your workplaces, organize, meet each other, collect contacts, and then begin the conversation about creating unions. For students, we urge you to join our movement, whether it's at our university with CSULB Divest, at a city college, creating an organization or a coalition like ours, and at all other universities in California that have similar movements with their Students for Justice in Palestine chapters and their Divest coalitions. Join an organization. As individuals, we will not win, but collectively, we will win. When we fight, when we fight, thank you.
Thank you so much to Cal State Long Beach Divest Coalition. As Ali said, the youth are the future, and I'm so proud that we have such strong youth among us today who are fighting for a better future alongside of us. It was student movements in Iran that helped to overthrow the Shah that were instrumental in that, and we cannot forget how influential students have always been when it comes to making revolution, it comes to beating the old system. I want to try a chant based on what they said. They said the students are with you, right? And not just the students are with the people in Sudan, Congo, Palestine, Iran. The people, we the people are with them, right? So I'm going to say the people in Sudan, right? And you're going to say the people are with you. Is that okay? To the people in Sudan.
The people are with you.
To the people in the Congo.
The people are with you.
To the people in Palestine.
The people are with you.
And to the people of Iran.
The people are with you.
Thanks so much. Make some noise, yeah. I want that, when we say the people are with you, I want that to be not just an empty statement, that should be a promise, right? That should be a promise of collective action, to struggle, to showing up, to make sure that we can't just say that, and we can't just live in America and say, oh, we're with the people of other countries. Like, no, we actually work, right? We live in the empire. So it takes active daily effort to be opposed to our own system, to oppose the empire. Lastly, I want to welcome up Katie. Katie is going to speak for the Party for Socialism and Liberation and explain to you their vision for a better world. Welcome up, Katie.
Okay, so you guys already know that my name is Peace be upon you. I don't usually respond back. I'm so sorry that you guys had to stand here. I feel really guilty. So how about you all like take a quick stretch? Let's all just like stretch together. You know what I mean? Yeah? Alright, awesome. Yeah, I'm Katie. I'm with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I'm going to try my hardest not to repeat some of the points that have already been said, but they're very important. But I want to talk about what happened last week. On February 28th, the United States military unleashed missiles on an elementary school in Minab, Iran. Parents got their children ready for school that morning. They put on their little gosh, I'm gonna try not to cry. They put on their little backpacks and sent them off to a place that should have been safe. For hours, rescue workers pulled their small bodies from the rubble, discovering their little backpacks covered in blood. Almost 200 innocent people, mostly children, were murdered in this attack. They were sent to school and now they will never come home. Absolutely nothing would justify murdering hundreds of innocent children. but it is worth stating clearly that this depraved act of violence was completely unprovoked. The Trump administration and the Israeli settler state have launched this unprovoked military assault on a country that has posed absolutely no threat to working people in America. This act violates our own Constitution, which reserves power to declare war to Congress. It violates international law. It violates the sanctity of human life. The only thing that Iran is guilty of is refusing to organize their society according to the demands of United States Capitol. Refusing to hand over their oil at prices that would subject their citizens to abject poverty. Refusing to allow the United States to interfere with their politics and their right to self-determination. For this, the Trump administration has carried forward a decades-long project of bringing Iran to its knees by plunging us headfirst into a war, one that we will lose. We are here today to categorically condemn the acts of aggression by Israel and the United States. Shame. Shame. We refuse to normalize a mass murder of school children as a legitimate instrument of foreign policy. We need to understand, as comrades have already said, who benefits from this war, who pays from it, and who is going to fight in it. Will the children of Donald Trump, the billionaires who funded him, or the warmongers of the diaspora, are they going to fight in this war? No. No. Will they foot the bill? No. No, of course not. They want you to foot the bill. They want your children to fight in this war. They want your mothers, your daughters, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles to die on their behalf. Shame. Shame. Every bomb we drop, every missile we fire represents money that could have been spent on healthcare, infrastructure, and education and housing being transferred into the hands of defense contractors and weapons manufacturers. They cheer on these wars because their stock prices will rise. Meanwhile, companies lay off workers in record numbers, soaring unemployment to record highs. Our total military budget exceeds $1 trillion. Money that comes from the value that we create with our labor. And instead of it being used to benefit us, it gets funneled into weapons that kill children in countries that have never been of any threat to us. Trump has claimed that Iran is developing nuclear weapons. Switch hands, sorry. Apparently, he thinks that we're all stupid enough to believe that this same exact excuse, which was used to invade Iraq by the Bush administration, will work on us. Iran has been a member of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty since 1970, and international inspectors have repeatedly verified their compliance. Do you know who possesses hundreds of nuclear warheads, has never signed the treaty, and has bombed every single one of their neighboring countries? Israel, that's right. We are also being told that our government is doing this to liberate women from the oppressive Iranian regime. How dare they? How dare they claim to liberate women while bombing hundreds of little girls? You do not bomb women you do not liberate women by bombing them. As a Muslim woman and an indigenous American, I am sick of the United States using its chauvinistic views of freedom to justify murder and destruction. This rhetoric strips Iranian women of their political agency. It treats them as passive victims waiting to be saved rather than political actors capable of fighting for their own futures when, if, and how they see fit. Iranian women do not need American bombs. They have told us in no uncertain terms what will immediately and materially improve their lives. Lifting the sanctions that have suffocated their economy for decades. For the US and its allies to stop interfering with their politics. And they need to stop empowering bad actors. But sure, we're bringing freedom to Iran. Let's talk about freedom. Iran provides universal health care where women can see doctors without going bankrupt. It guarantees significant maternity leave so women can have children without losing their jobs. And free university education. Iran has one of the highest rates of female engineers and doctors in the world. Compare that to the United States, where mothers die in childbirth at much higher rates than any other wealthy nation, and are one of the only countries without guaranteed paid maternity leave. What right does the United States have to lecture anyone on democracy or human rights? Here in America, ICE executes protesters in broad daylight. Billionaires build data centers that poison entire neighborhoods. People work full-time and still cannot afford housing. We force teenagers into lifelong debt for the possibility of a job. We criminalize miscarriage. We keep women on life support for pregnancies to force pregnancies to term. We are governed by men whose names appear thousands of times in the Epstein files, led by a president who is held liable for sexual assault against women. Who is that? America. Not Iran, America. In 1953, Iran had a democratically elected leader named Mohammad Mossadegh. I don't know how to say it. Mossadegh. Okay. Who nationalized their oil, deciding that Iranian resources should benefit the Iranian people instead of British and American corporations. What? How dare they, right? The CIA responded by orchestrating a coup and installing a dictatorship under the Shah, who spent the next 25 years torturing and murdering dissidents with American support while opening Iran's economy to foreign exploitation. In 1979, Iranians rose up and overthrew the Shah, refusing to allow Western powers to dominate their futures any longer. That revolution was fueled by their faith, Shia Islam, that does not ask believers to be patient through suffering and hardship, but calls them to actively struggle against oppression and injustice. This stands in stark contrast to the complacency that we see from the so-called leaders in Muslim-majority countries that have colluded with the United States and Israel. Shame. Shame. The United States has never forgiven Iran for this. We supported Saddam Hussein when he invaded them, provided them with weapons that killed hundreds of millions of Iranians. We imposed devastating sanctions, surrounded them with military bases, and threatened them with nuclear annihilation. And throughout all of this, Iran has not attacked us once. Yet we have the audacity to call them terrorists. Shame. Shame. This week, Congress had a chance to pass a War Powers Act resolution requiring authorization for military action, but it failed. Democrats and Republicans gave Trump a blank check for war. Both parties vote for massive military budgets year after year. They accept money from defense contractors. They serve the same class interests, and those interests are not yours. This means we cannot rely on our politicians to stop this war. Remember, when politicians tell you that we cannot afford universal health care, they are lying. When they say that we cannot afford to cancel student debt, they are lying. When they claim that they lack the resources to address the climate crisis, to lower inflation, to create jobs, they are lying to your face. There is always money for war. If we want the money that our labor produces to meet human needs rather than kill innocent children, we have to build a movement powerful enough to force that change. We need to boycott, we need to divest, we need to organize, we need a total arms embargo, and to build for a general strike. If port workers refuse to load military equipment, if tech workers refuse to build surveillance systems, if soldiers refuse orders, the war machine will stop. This is the power that we hold as the working class. We are not subordinate to them. They are subordinate to us. Iranian people have the right to determine their own future without foreign interference and to organize their society according to their own values. Americans deserve a government that serves our interests rather than the interests of weapons manufacturers and billionaires who profit from endless war. If you oppose this war, if you oppose the murder of innocent schoolgirls, of mothers and fathers from Palestine to Venezuela, then it is time you stand up and fight back. This war ends when we decide that it ends. The moment we refuse to comply, this war becomes impossible. That moment is now. The spirit of Hussein at Karbala lives on in those who refuse to submit to empire. Ya Hussein, glory to the martyrs. Assalamu alaikum.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Noise for yourself. Thank you all for coming out. That's the end of our program today. Like we said, the movement against this war is not just today, and it's not just us. We have 50 people here today. We had maybe 300 people here in LA last weekend. This movement needs to grow to hundreds, to thousands, to millions, and I believe that we can get there. Do you? Yeah. I don't know if y'all believe it. I believe that we can get there. Do you? Yeah. There it is. So what we're gonna do right now is take our signs, take our bullhorns, and we'll go down to the streets to try and get people to understand what we're here to do. Let people know that we are anti-war. Make sure that they can hear you. Is that okay? All right, make some noise.
Hands off Iran!
you get some photos to me so I can look at them? I really would love it.
Yeah, last time, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna still got to read it. I don't know what happened. That's why I was recording.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened. This time, yeah, I can get it to you.
Well, yeah, give me like a portfolio if you have, or like just some images so I can kind of see.
Right now, today?
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Yeah, okay.
That way we can get something going like next week.
Okay.
That'd be really helpful.
I get it to you.
Are you in PSL?
What is that? No.
The Party of Socialism and Liberation?
No, I'm not in no parties. I'm more like independent. I just support this.
Oh. Well, I didn't know if you were connected with Jay, but if not, then just send me a message and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you can do it today, that's better. We're trying to move very quickly.
Yeah, okay. I'll let you know. Hopefully nothing happens. I don't know what happened. I lost some other stuff too, so it kind of pissed me off. But yeah, hopefully everything works out. That's why I always record.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Okay.
That's great. We could use that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will definitely.
Thank you.
Ooh, let me out the fucking Wi-Fi, boy.